Cardi B's heart shatters after Diggs' tearful confession. The studio lights were dim. The entire room was silent. Even the cameras seemed to hesitate, as if sensing the emotional storm about to unfold. Cardi B sat across from Stefon Diggs, her eyes glossy but still strong, her posture proud yet trembling. This was supposed to be a calm, private conversation, a moment of clarity between two lovers who had taken the world by surprise. But nothing could have prepared her for what was about to come out of his mouth. Stefon Diggs, the man who had sworn loyalty, who had promised protection, who had held her through the chaos of fame, leaned forward slowly. His hands were shaking. His voice barely holding together. "Cardi," he whispered, swallowing hard. "There's something I can't keep inside anymore." Her brows furrowed. "What you mean?" "You scaring me right now, Steph," she said, trying to joke it off, but the fear was already settling deep in her chest. Tears welled up in his eyes. Real tears. The kind that didn't come from weakness, but from unbearable truth. "I've been fighting this for months. I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want to be the reason your smile fades," he said, his voice cracking completely. The room froze. Cardi's confident expression slowly melted into confusion. "Just say it," she murmured. "Whatever it is, just say it." Stefon looked down at his hands, then back at her face, the face he had once called his peace, his home, his safe place. "I don't feel like I'm enough for you anymore," he confessed. "I've been drowning in pressure. The fame, the rumors, the expectations. I feel like I'm holding you back, Cardi. Like you deserve someone stronger, someone who won't break like this." Tears spilled down his cheeks. And that's when it happened. Cardi's face went pale. Her lips parted. Slightly, but no words came out. Her heart, the same heart that had survived public scandals, broken marriages, betrayals, suddenly felt like it was being ripped apart all over again. You think you holding me back," she whispered, her voice trembling. "After everything we've been through?" Stefon nodded slowly, tears still flowing. "I love you too much to keep pretending I'm okay when I'm not. I'm scared, Cardi. Scared I'm gonna destroy what you built." The confession hit harder than any betrayal ever could. Cardi stood up abruptly, pacing back and forth, holding her head like the world was spinning. Her laugh was shaky, almost hysterical. "So this whole time I'm fighting for us, defending you, standing 10 toes down, and you think you ain't worthy?" she cried. "You think I chose you for no reason?" Her voice broke into sobs. Stefon reached for her hand but she pulled away, tears sliding down her flawless makeup. "You don't get to decide my worth or yours. You don't get to make that choice for me," she shouted, her pain echoing through the room. Her shoulders shook violently as the reality sank in. The man she loved wasn't confessing betrayal, he was confessing insecurity so deep it threatened their entire future. "I didn't fall for some untouchable superhero," she whispered, collapsing onto the couch. "I fell for you. The broken parts, the scared parts, all of it." Stefon walked over slowly and dropped to his knees in front of her. "I'm sorry," he sobbed. "I'm so sorry, Bardi. I just didn't want to be another man who disappointed you." The camera zoomed in as Cardi stared at him through tears. "Then why you trying to leave?" she demanded. "Why you breaking us before we even break?" His silence was the loudest sound in the room. Outside, fans had already begun speculating. Social media exploded with #PrayForCardi and #Diggs confession as leaks hinted at a private emotional crisis between the two. Some claimed a breakup was coming. Others begged for reconciliation. Inside that silent room, two hearts sat on the edge of destruction. Cardi placed her trembling hand gently on his cheek. "You don't walk away when things get hard," she whispered. "You stay. You fight. You bleed together. That's love." Stefon closed his eyes as her touch calmed his storm. But the pain had already carved deep scars. Would this confession bring them closer, or forever tear them apart? As Cardi rested her head against his chest, still shaking, the world waited, holding its breath, wondering if love this fragile could survive such a devastating truth. And in that moment, one thing was certain. Her heart had shattered, not because of betrayal, but because she loved too deeply to watch him give up on himself. If you want this story to become even more dramatic with public meltdown scene, hospital emotional breakdown, proposal twist, sudden disappearance, social media chaos. Here is your very long, ultra-dramatic, cinematic fictional story. Backhand index pointing down. Broken heart. Cardi B's heart shatters after Diggs' tearful confession. The night was supposed to be peaceful. Just another quiet moment between two lovers who had fought the world to be together. The soft glow of the city skyline filtered through the glass walls of Cardi B's luxury penthouse while a gentle jazz melody played in the background. Candles flickered on the marble counter, and the scent of roses filled the air, a scene that once symbolized love now held an unexpected heaviness. Cardi B sat on the velvet couch, scrolling silently through her phone, occasionally glancing toward Stefan Diggs, who stood by the window, his back turned, shoulders tense, hands trembling slightly as he stared into the distance. Something was wrong. Deeply wrong. "Steph, talk to me," Cardi finally said, her voice soft but edged with concern. "You been quiet all evening. What's going on?" He didn't respond immediately. Instead, he exhaled sharply, as if gathering the courage to speak words that might shatter everything they had built. When he finally turned around, her heart skipped painfully. His eyes were red, glossy, on the verge of breaking. "Belcalis," he whispered, his voice cracking. "I don't even know how to say this without hurting you." Her playful expression faded instantly. "Hurting me? Steph, you're scaring me. Just say it. Please." He walked closer, but each step felt heavier than the last. "I love you," he said firmly, "more than anything. But there's something I've been carrying inside for weeks, and it's eating me alive." Tears escaped his eyes, sliding down his cheeks without shame. This was a side of Stefan Diggs no one had ever seen. Not the strong, confident athlete. Not the charming lover. Just a broken man standing before the woman he adored. "I've been feeling trapped in my own mind," he confessed. "Not by you, never by you. But by my fears, my past, my insecurities. I kept pretending everything was okay just so I wouldn't lose you." Cardi's lips parted softly. Her hands clutched the hem of her silk robe as her eyes softened with heartbreak and confusion. "Why didn't you tell me, baby? Why carry that alone?" "Because I'm scared," he admitted through sobs. "Scared that one day you'll wake up and realize you deserve someone better. Someone stronger. Someone who doesn't crumble like this." Silence filled the room, heavy and suffocating. Cardi stood slowly and approached him, her heels clicking faintly against the floor. She placed her hand on his chest, feeling his heart racing wildly beneath his shirt. "You think this makes me love you less?" she asked, her voice trembling now. "You think showing me your pain makes you weak?" Tears welled in her eyes too, glistening like shattered diamonds. "Steph, I fell for your soul, not your perfection." But Diggs shook his head, wiping his tears. "I've scared myself, Cardi. I've been losing sleep. I've been questioning everything, even whether I'm the man you need." That was the moment her heart cracked. "Yes, you hurt me by not telling me sooner," she whispered. "You hurt me by carrying this alone when I'm supposed to be your safe space. But hearing you say you feel unworthy, that just breaks me." Her voice rose as emotion overtook her. "I fought battles, I walked through fire, I rebuilt my life, not to be loved halfway. If you feel pain, you tell me. You don't hide it." Tears streamed down her face now. The strength she always wore like armor had finally shattered. Her makeup slightly smudged, her breaths uneven, her heart aching deeply. Diggs fell to his knees without thinking, gripping her hands. I'm sorry, Cardi. I swear I never meant to make you feel alone. I just didn't want to ruin the magic. But love isn't magic if it's built on silence, she cried. It's trust. It's honesty. It's vulnerability. And you just waited until you couldn't breathe anymore. The room echoed with raw emotion. Outside, the city lights shimmered as if unaware of the storm unfolding inside. He looked up at her, broken. I want to fight for us. I want to heal. I just need you to know the real me, even when I'm scared. Long pause. Cardi closed her eyes, pressing her forehead against his. The real you is what I chose. And hearing this confession, it shattered me, yes, but it also showed me the truth. Even if it hurts. A tear slipped down her cheek onto his knuckles. I love you, but love requires transparency. You didn't just confess your fears tonight, you cracked open our entire foundation. Their embrace was slow, hesitant, filled with both relief and sorrow. The kind of hug that speaks louder than words, desperate, protective, fragile. As the candles burned lower and the music faded into silence, one thing was clear. This was no longer just a love story. It was a moment of reckoning. A crossroads where truth met heartbreak. Where vulnerability collided with reality. And as Cardi whispered into his ear, voice soft yet wounded. Don't ever let me find out you're hurting in silence again, because tonight, you didn't just break down, Steph. You broke my heart too.
쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 난 구름 위를 날고 있어. 아래엔 간혹 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 난 하늘을 보고 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주도